Welcome to SOMCZ YouTube channel. Now y'all can see this time we're very, very comfortable because we're about to dig deep. We're about to talk about the unspoken truth of life and business, but really life this time. And we're going to throw in a little business because a lot of times in life, we thrive or we're healing at a certain age because of certain things that's transpired throughout our life. And even from the people who may have birthed us or raised us or any of those things. So our question for today is, are you healing from your parents or are you thriving because of your parents? Mm-hmm. Now, I've met a lot of people along the way, and I had one person last week say it's both for them. So it was very interesting because she was like, well, it's both for me because right now I'm trying to get out of the shadow of my parents. Mm-hmm. And so I'm healing in that aspect because I don't want to be known as such and such child, because I want my own identity, but I'm thriving because I'm able to be my own self in other areas. Right. So that was amazing. So today we have Tina Torres with us. And I felt like she was the perfect person because we've talked on many occasions. Yeah. And our story may not be the same, but there's so many different aspects that drove us to be who we are now. Right. And it came from us growing up, things we have endured and things we have overcame, healed from, still healing from. And it just pushed us to be who we are. Right. So let's just talk about that. So for you, and I'm going to give mine to y'all. So for you, are you healing or are you thriving?
I am more so healing. I was healing at one point and thriving. Unfortunately, it kind of has set me back a little bit. I'm still healing. I realize I'm still healing massively from that. So, yeah, I'm still healing. There's moments when you can be both, but I recognize lately that I've been more on a healing journey than thriving.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of people get, and I was one of those people because I felt like I was healed until a passing. So when someone close to me passed, I realized I was always still healing. I just began to thrive during my healing. Right. So it kind of like pushed me off from paying attention to my healing process, and the thriving helped me heal. But when it happened, it was like a big setback because I became that numb person. I became that person that didn't care. I became that person that wanted to be the person that she used to be. And I realized, well, dog, Keisha, you're not fully healed because if you was fully healed, you wouldn't have let that instant set you completely back. But
you needed that moment though.
Yes.
So that you could see. I mean, it wasn't like it was intentional.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there was going to be a moment that was going to test you.
Right.
And life is about tests.
Right.
And how you progress past that test is up to you.
Right.
However, there are moments. I grew up in an abusive home. I grew up molested. I grew up verbally, mentally, sexually abused. I mean, I went through all of that. I raised my children in survival mode. So I was carrying bags on me all the time. I didn't know to love my children was to really love them. I thought my job was to just love them and get them through. Right. And so I did. It wasn't until I was in my 40s that I recognized, girl, you're still struggling. Like you are in survival mode. You know what I mean? Trying to do a business, trying to pep everybody up, trying to get them through this, that, and the other, teaching them this. But in all actuality, behind closed doors, I'm suffering, completely suffering because of the things that I have been through.
Right.
And I always want to see everybody else happy, everybody else flourish, and everybody else do their thing and help them on their projects and help them do them.
Right.
And I go home and I shut the door and I just climb into bed, and so it's tough. So when you're carrying those bags and you drop a bag, the wind comes in, you're like, oh my God, I'm messing up. Let me get that bag back.
Right.
So it's tough. It's tough. And it's a lot of us like that out there.
Right. And I think my thing was I always told myself I would be the opposite. So I always pushed to be the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And it took until I think Kayla was 11
Mm-hmm.
so for me to realize, because she went through a period of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
So it took her to hit that point for me to realize, okay, Keisha, being the opposite is meaning also you need to talk. You can't fix everything by yourself. And that was my thing. I wanted to fix everything by myself. I don't need nobody because I can't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm being the best mom I can. I'm being a better parent than I had. So I feel like I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment taught me that I needed to seek help. And even when we sought help, she was like, "Were you doing good with her?" And I said, "No, you don't understand.
No.
I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm doing good with her as a parent, yes, I had become a better parent, but I still needed that extra help that can help me and guide me, because I was still healing while trying to help her heal. So therefore, she needed her own healing without me. And learning to us, all of us, to have our own identity, to be expressive. To one of the things when Kayla was born, I always told her I love her. And I said that was something that I was going to instill in my kids because I never got it. My grandma used to tell me, but from parents, I never heard I love you out loud. So I made it my thing to tell my kids I love you every morning, every night. When we get off the phone, it's always I love you. So that's something that's instilled in them, that they know they can't say, well, I think my mom loved me because she did for me. I think my mom loved me because she took me out of town. I think my mom loved me because she had me in my house. No, my mama told me she loved me every day. But getting a therapist really helped us. It helped us begin the healing process. But even when you're healing, I don't think healing ever ends.
I don't think it does. But I think you have to remember not to let it be that thing that stalls you.
Right.
So I know for me, growing up, being so abused, it still affects me.
Right. Yeah.
It still affects me because I look at children now.
Right.
And I fear for them.
Right.
Because I know what they're going through.
Right.
Because I went through it. So it bothers me that we're not scratching the surface.
Right.
For us to get these moms and dads out of survival mode.
Right.
And I think that's why I fight so hard to try to stay afloat.
And that's our biggest thing. And I think as us, people don't realize, because I get a lot of side eye with business, because I fight so hard for you to do it the right way.
Yeah.
And they don't realize, because we don't need to be in survival mode no more.
No.
We have really no reason to be in survival mode on either side, because we are granted that opportunity now, because we've been through what we needed to go through to be able to help you. So let us help you in those areas, so you don't have to continue to heal or continue to fight or continue to look over your shoulder, because you don't want to take in consideration that I'm not just telling you this just because I'm telling you this.
It's fighting that stigma. Right. A lot of us grew up with that whole, what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors, right? And so I was talking with a client the other day, and I was saying, because of that, the rug is so full of what generation after generation after generation has done to each other.
Right.
That when you pull the rug back, you're seeing this big, like, just glob of stuff, right? So that's why I kind of nicknamed myself the rug puller, because my goal is to pull the rug back, so that you can see all of this right here is causing you to trip.
Right.
And with you tripping, it's making you just like not realize that this is causing you not to have like this. Your surface of your life is cracked.
Right.
My goal is to help you surface that.
Right.
So that it's slightly smooth, so that you can unpack that, so you can go and help unpack your child.
Right.
Because if you unpack what you've been through, you're going to be able to unpack your child.
Right.
And your child is not going to have anything to unpack when they have a child.
Right.
Because they've left it with you. You've helped them unpack it.
Right. So my thing with you is, I know you said you're healing, but I think now it's time for you to thrive and heal. Yeah. And that was one of the things I had to learn through my because I will say, and I'm very transparent, because during my grandma passing, I became angry. I didn't want to hear from God. I didn't want to hear what nobody said, but I still, SOMCZ still was running. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have ever knew the pain I had but the people surrounding me. Right. So because they saw me do things that was out of the ordinary. But, and that's where I mean by continuing to heal and thrive at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we get stuck in healing, mm-hmm. that we forget about what else we need to do. And that's why we can't continue to heal. Yeah. And that was one of the things I took it as, okay, Keisha, you went through this because this was your testimony. Mm-hmm. Because there's somebody else watching this or about to go through the same thing, and they need to know that you can continue to thrive while you're healing during this process. Yeah. Right. You continue to thrive while you're going through what you're going through. And was it hard? Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, because listen, I don't even drink like that. But I had to take a drink, Lord forgive me. But I had to drink because it's like, I can't process this. I didn't want to hear what God had to say. God, right now I don't want to talk to you, but if you want to cover me, cover me. Like my friends, y'all in prayer, be in prayer. Yeah. I don't want to be in prayer. And a lot of times people don't want to tell that side of their story, especially when you consider yourself a Christian or like me, a minister. You don't tell that side that you are vulnerable, but a lot of people are watching it like she's cracking. No, let me tell you, I crack. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you have to tell people that.
I crack.
They need to know that it's okay to crack.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're not going to know your strength.
Right.
Right? You're not going to know. And I think now because I'm working more and more every day with children, mm-hmm. I'm seeing so much stuff. Okay. I'm seeing a 7-year-old who's currently being prostituted. So I'm seeing all these things go on right now. Children without food, children in a hotel, mom works at night. So you've got a 6-year-old watching a brand new baby overnight and sleeping in class. So I think that that's what's triggered me. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what stalled me for a moment.
But the thing is, you didn't go into school for nothing.
I didn't.
Right.
I didn't. So, and that's where I wanted to be there because I know that these children, and I wanted to be able to find a way to work with the parents to be able to figure out how can we help.
Right.
It just brought back some of the memories that I suffered as a child, and it affected me. And so lately, I've just been going home and shutting my door.
But I don't think. Now, the one thing I can say is during that process, I can say that the people around me saw the difference and pulled me out of
it. It's happening.
Yeah. So that's what's needed. Yeah. And that's why it's good to have people that know when you're not yourself.
But you have to remember, too, there are people who don't have that support system.
Right.
And so they may be trying to do a business and they think that the people around them are for them and they may not be for them.
Right.
So they don't know how to balance that healing process and that thriving process.
Right.
So the best thing that we probably may want to tell folks too is make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who definitely want to see you grow.
That's a big thing.
And you're wanting to see that person grow too. But again, oftentimes there are people that are trying to make a difference within themselves, but they don't have that support system.
Right. So my thing is, I think a lot of times we are looking for, because I've been there, we're looking for the people that we think supposed to be there. And the whole time it's people that we never would have imagined.
Yes.
That's going to pull us
Oh my
out.
God, you know how long I've been watching you?
Gonna pull us out. So it's like, okay, because I know when I was going through mine, the person that I never would have expected to show up at my door, and it was like, hold a minute, wait a minute. But I said something to her more than once in the conversation, and she was like, "That's not Keisha. Like that's not the Keisha
that you knew."
Right? Yeah. And so she just was like, "You home?" And I was like, "Oh, not just answering. Yeah, I'm home." She was like, "You going to the office?" And I was like, "No, probably not. Not today. I think I'm gonna stay home today for a while." And she was like, "Okay." And the next thing I know, 20 minutes later, she was at my door. And she literally she had the prayer cloth and she came over and all I could do was just cry.
Yeah.
But I needed that because she reminded me of who I was and who I wasn't going to go back to.
Right.
And I needed that. And the funny part about it, she didn't even know the old me. She just heard about the old me. So just from her hearing about the old me and seeing my text message to her, she was like, she told her husband, I got to go to her. I can't keep talking to her on the text message. But I would have never imagined her.
I think I know who it is too.
I would have never imagined her to show up and do that because we talk, but we don't talk enough for me connection. To feel that she would know exactly what to say. So I always say God put the right people in your path, even if they're not your talking friends every day.
Right.
A lot of times we think people that's supposed to be in our path, we're supposed to talk to daily. And I'm big telling my friends, y'all listen, y'all ain't gonna talk to me daily. Because truth be told, I don't like to talk to people on phone after business.
But if they're really your friends, they basically are
understand.
Like, look, you won't skip a beat. A beat will not be missed.
Right.
So it's just a matter of surrounding yourself with people who genuinely want to see you win.
Right.
But we have to want to win.
Right.
So that's that whole healing and thriving process, that balance that we need to figure out.
Right.
And know that it's okay to heal.
Right.
It's okay to heal.
Right.
And still thrive and go out there and kick butt at the same time.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people, and even social media, I love that social media is opening up. They pulling up the rug.
Yeah.
Because a lot of topics that never should have left grandmama's house
are coming out
on social media.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yes.
Because I want to be candid.
Right.
We sugarcoat so much. We sugarcoat sexual assault. Oh, girl, he ain't mean it. He good. Y'all be all right. But that he sexually assaulted you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And we sugarcoat parenting. And we say, that's your parent. You only have one mom. You only have, well, they don't say you have one dad. Because there's something about the stigma with dads. They don't care if you got one dad. But you only have one mom. You should just overlook it because that's your mom and you should love it. But I'm like, babe, I read the whole Bible. There's somewhere in that Bible that tells me that I can walk away.
And that's good. Because there are some people who need to know it's okay to walk away.
I won't disrespect you.
Right.
But I'll walk away.
Right.
I won't hate you. I'll learn to forgive you, but never forget what you did. I'll love you, but I'll love you from where I'm at and from where you at.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of things is coming to play because I remember when Kayla went through what she went through and I started separating myself. And a lot of people was like, why is she doing it? She just overreacting. And it's crazy because now so many people are going through it. Now it's not overreacting. And I'm like, no, I was being a parent.
That was somebody who didn't have access to your business.
Right.
And it could have been a family member. I'm just saying, in general.
You're right.
I look at why that person acted that way.
Right.
You didn't have access to me.
But you didn't have access to control either.
Right.
And I'm the type of person you can't control me. Like I say what I have to say. I do what I want to do. And if I choose to come around, I come around. If I choose not, I'm not going to be fake. You can say I'm not a Christian because I will walk right past you. God will have to talk to me later. But at the moment, I would rather walk past you than walk to you. And it'd be a different type of conversation or engagement because everything I felt comes up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand
those are
that. When you're healing and you have really not gotten over that, no matter how much time has went, you forgave them, but you really haven't healed totally from whatever took place. I can't stop and play with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta walk past you.
That's your process.
Right.
Right. It's okay for me not to have a conversation with you.
Right.
It's okay for me to walk right past you.
Right.
That's my prerogative.
Right.
Whatever I have to do to maintain my peace, I'm going to do that. And whatever road I need to travel to get to that peace, it's okay that I don't travel, that you don't travel with me. And people have to understand that.
Right. And that's not to say that we won't come back around.
Yeah.
We may. I can't say we won't, but right now we just can't.
People have to understand you're either a season or a lifetime.
Right.
Understand your position.
Right.
Understand your position.
Right. This is good.
So
we got out of this. You're going to heal and you're going to thrive.
We're going to heal and thrive. But I'm coming to pull that rug back. I need you to know.
Yes. Now that's a good one. But I'm loving social media on that part. Now, some things on social media, I'll be like, oh. But that part, I like how the new generation, because they need that. Because they can't handle what we handle growing up. They can't handle. That's why suicide is going up tremendously.
Mental health is
skyrocketing. Because they
hard.
can't handle the stuff being under the rug. And as parents, even if you are an older parent and you got grandkids, you have to understand that old mentality has to go out the door because that sweeping under the rug and overlooking and saying we're blood and blood is thicker than water. All of that is dead, now because kids can't handle, and they have too much access to different things that they can do to themselves to get out of a situation rather than live through the situation like we had to do.
Right. Yeah, so, we had to live through it. We had to just physically and mentally accept it. And now we're not doing that anymore. Right. We have to figure it out because it affected my kids.
Right.
My survival, being in survival, raising them, affected them.
Right.
Okay. And now because we're working on our stuff, we're not allowing it to affect the grandchildren. You know what I mean? So we have to stop with this. It's okay. Keep it behind closed doors. Sweep it underneath the rug. No, stop doing that because you're basically hindering the growth of your family.
And you're continuing that curse to just trickle down and trickle down. And what you don't realize, what you were able to get through. Like we said, back in the day, what grandma was able to get you through, you don't have that now because the world has opened up.
It's opened up so much. Right. You know, and I was a high school dropout. All three of my girls graduated high school. All of them went to college, graduated college. For me, that's a huge accomplishment from a girl whose family just basically generation curse after curse after curse after curse.
And I was a teen mom. I was teen pregnant. I was pregnant in the 12th grade. And even though my child passed, I still was pregnant in the 12th grade. Right. So to see my child.
Imagine what that did to you, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was heavy on you.
Right. And for nobody to, I think I recently just completely healed from that because nobody talked to me. Nobody said, well, Keisha, you're going to go through this.
Teen parent
There's going to be things that you endure. Your body's going to go through something. I had none of those conversations.
You didn't have nobody to talk to.
No conversation like that. We had the funeral.
We didn't have that.
We buried the child and I went on with life. So I realized growing up, that's where my alcohol came in because I was a heavy drinker at 18 all the way through college.
That's heavy.
At Benedict, I was like, y'all, we sit back and we laugh about what we did in college.
But it was heavy.
But now when I think about it and look at, now that I'm in the healing process, I think about why was you drinking like that? Like, how can a girl drink a bottle of gin? Yeah, with no problem.
You think about it right now. And we don't even touch gin.
Right. Now I don't even want to smell gin.
Right, please don't.
But it's like, okay, you were covering up everything with alcohol. So even though you were still thriving, you were going to college, you were on the dean's list, you were doing all the things you need, you still was alcoholic.
You was unhappy.
You was alcoholic from 18 to 20 something.
And that's a long time.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like it's like so much now that I've grown and I separated myself and learned me.
Yeah.
I realized, okay, I can't let this happen to my kids now. So I got to open the door of communication. I got to talk to them. So I tell them about my past. I tell them what mama did. So nobody in the street can't tell you what I did.
And that's what my girls will tell you. My girls will say, whatever, if you come to them and tell them something that I did, they're going to say, okay, we know.
Yeah.
Our mom didn't keep anything from us.
Yeah.
It may have taken her a while to tell us because she didn't know, but she knows. Right. We know. Right. That's how tight the four of us are. We lived in the shelter together. We fought for food together. We fought, to have money on the table. I worked in odd places. I did things I had to do that I thought I had to do to keep my girls and I together. Lived in public housing, food stamps, check once a month, all of that. You know what I mean? Living in sister care, 3 little girls. You know what I mean? So I have the ability to just say to folks, hey, you can do this. I'm here to help you do that.
Right.
I have to remember that it's okay to heal.
Right.
I have to remember that.
So guess what we're going to do? We're going to heal and thrive, and y'all going to do it too.
Yes.
All right? So, Tina, tell them where you're located, where your nonprofit is located, and some of the things you can assist them with and how they can find you. Okay.
Well, I am here in Columbia, South Carolina. I work in the Lexington and Richland County areas, some of Camden, and a little bit of Sumter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, both under She Did That Community Advocate Foundation and Tina D. Torres. My phone number is 803-814-5147. And my website is tinadtorres.com or shedidthatevents.com. Also, we assist with helping families and individuals who are dealing with traumatic situations such as sexual assault, domestic violence, teen pregnancy, high school situations. We also work with food drives, clothing drives, blanket drives, anything that you could possibly think of that is currently keeping you from being able to move forward. In retrospect to that, that's what we do.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
I'm glad you was able to come on and be vulnerable.
Yes, I think you have to be in order for people out there to be able to trust you.
Right.
They need to see that they can trust you.
Right, right.
And when they know that you've been through what they've been through, they open up to you.
Exactly. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and y'all know how we do it over here. Until the next time, deuces.